Hello, hello, how's everybody? Still energized? Excellent. Yeah, I think most of us are still awake, so that's a good thing. So we're going to talk partnerships, and we're going to hear from the people you see at the podium. This is going to be a marathon session, so we're going to move fairly quickly. I'm going to ask each of the speakers to do two things. One is introduce themselves and the organization for which they work. And the idea is that rather than go into a description of what the organizations do, is make an offer to yourselves on issues that you can partner with them about. Okay? So you're looking forward to hearing that, and then following up with them. And what I will do is, on my part as a moderator, I will not even introduce the panelists so that we move quickly. I'll just ask Nena to start. So Nena, please get to the podium, introduce yourself, and then we just go down one by one. Is that okay? You can speak from the podium. You can also speak here at the table. So it's just your choice.
I wasn't supposed to come to the podium, but now my time has started. My name is Nena. I'm the Africa Regional Coordinator for the World Wide Web Foundation. I'm going to make you 3 offers at 3 levels. So 3 times 3, that is 9. The first offer we're making is at the global level. A few of our colleagues have spoken about a global partnership on sustainable development data. Let me give you more information about that. It will be launched on Monday, the 28th of September, between 3 and 6 p.m. New York time at Waldorf Astoria Hotel. If you would like to join the partnership as a country, as an international organization, that's the reason I am here. So that's my offer. The second offer is on International Open Data Charter. If you would like to work on the standards, adopt them, please come. We have a partnership open for you, and I believe Fernando will speak more to that. The third offer is on Open Data Innovation Network. It is a community of practice for individuals and organizations who are working on open data innovation. Now I want to come home to Africa, so I'm going to do my head wrap. This is the African woman talking. I introduce myself again. My name is Nena, and I'm an African woman. On policy, yesterday we had the president speak about Tanzania adopting an open data policy. We want to make an offer to Tanzania and to every other African country, 54 of us. When you are ready for the open data policy, you have me. There is something called the Africa Data Consensus. It has principles and action areas. We've adopted it. The Web Foundation has been in it. Any country that is ready to begin to action the Africa Open Data Consensus, I'm here for you. There is something called Open Contracting Data Standards. We talked about transparency in procurement and business. If any African country wants to begin a serious work on open contracting data standards, you've got me. Now on research, let me change my hairstyle and say, this is Nena. This one is the all-rounder. There are things we do that cross across all levels, global, national, individual. Research is one of them. We research open data in over 86 countries. And our research lead is here. We publish the Open Data Barometer. Where are the colleagues who contribute to the Open Data Barometer? If you are here, please, I want to say thank you for the continued work. These are individuals who are stationed academia in developing countries. We continue to work with everyone. Finally, it's actually breaking news. There will be an African data collab in this continent. I think it might happen in this very country of Julius Nyerere. So keep an eye open. My name is the same as my Twitter account, and my name is the same as my email address. It is Nenna. It is pronounced as N-E-N-N-A. My name is Nenna. I come from Africa, from the Web Foundation. We are at your service, and we will always be. This is my final appearance, so I'm going to cover my eyes and say bye.
Vintage Nana, thank you very much, Nana. So next, you can speak from there.
Okay, me again, I'm going to try to be extremely short on my presentation. Because actually we don't necessarily do the work directly as a program, we actually support a lot of the partners that are on the table, and they're going to be speaking a lot of the work that we do, and we support a lot of the work of NENA, ODI, School of Data, OK Folks, and others work in Africa. So I'm going to talk just very briefly about the International Open Data Charter. Sorry, I don't have the speaker to move the slides. And in particular, I'm going to step back here and mention we recently hosted the International Open Data Conference. That's kind of, we see as the sister conference for this one. And with the World Bank and Canadian government our network, the Open Data for Development Network. And basically what came out, we had 1,000 participants, we had like 20,000 tweets, 200 blogs, and so on. And we tried we have more than 50 participants from Africa, and try to engage them in regional consultations as well that happened in Addis Ababa before the conference. And you try to consolidate all that input into something that we are calling, is the report of the conference, is called International Open Data Roadmap, that actually try to drive all these kind of different conversations into a lot of space where we can develop international collaboration at a more effective level. So I guess I'm not going to add too much into the African front where we have a lot of good partners. I want to just mention this kind of the opportunity to collaborate at the global level in the international open data space. And one of the cornerstones of this effort to develop international collaboration is try to agree on some things. And basically, a lot of thought have been given to during the conference and when we start consultations around the International Open Data Charter. This International Open Data Charter was developed within the OGP working group, but also taking into consideration the African Data Consensus and many other efforts that were happening in the region. And it focused around principles like openness by default, quality and quantity of data usable by all, engagement and power of citizens, and collaboration for development and innovation. And it's a set of principles that we hope can be adopted and accepted by governments, local governments, national governments, but also multilateral organizations and private sectors, into kind of build a common understanding of how to move next, and a commitment to the open data, not just in a very broad level, but in a very specific level in terms of what needs to be done to improve these policies, these practices, and develop this collaboration. So the consultations were launched in IODC earlier this year. There was global consultation happened with more than 300 comments to the draft until July. We are finalizing the draft, and basically early next week there will be a meeting in Mexico where we're going to kind of consolidate a bit with the lead stewards, or with a lot of groups that have been trying to finalize the draft so that we can launch it, the version, final version back to the community. The idea is that just to say some of the working models and how we're thinking about some of these international collaboration around the charters, that we, based on some of these international principles, we could develop a resource center that will build and, of course, collaborate with many of the tools and efforts that have been on, but will help countries to think about the issues on open data. We're going to have start with 3 working groups. One that will focus on how can we help countries on the implementation of open data policies, and it's called the Implementation Working Group, and we will work with regional actors, of course. A technical working group that will focus on how can increase and build more interoperability about the emerging open data standards, so people that are interested on the technical side on how to really build interoperability about the standards and create this global network of open data standards. That's an important element. And things of accountability, how can we kind of address the take governments to account, accountable as they declare that they are adopting the charter, how can we assess it, things like open data barometer and other elements will be very important for that. So if you want to engage in some of these discussions, please join us. That's, I think, an important element for international collaboration, and I would be very much welcome a strong African engagement on all these different working groups. Just to mention, I guess there will be a call for action at UNGA this year, rolling launches of this charter throughout the next year, and converging to also the International Open Data Conference in Madrid next year. So I guess there will be a lot of process and engagement opportunities throughout the year to advance on this conversation. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks for keeping the time. You going to speak from here? Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Serge Capto, and I am not from South Africa, as the program said. I'm with the United Nations Development Program at the headquarters in New York. And since I am coming from New York, I think I'm going to speak a little bit at a higher level, but coming down to the national level later on. So I will speak about the SDGs. That's what I've been speaking about since I got here 3 days ago, so some will not be surprised. But I'll start by saying that partnerships is actually one of the 5 essential elements of the Sustainable Development Goals as they have been agreed and will be adopted in New York. So it's a critical element for implementing the Sustainable Development Agenda. The other elements, it's called the 5 Ps. It's people, planet, peace, prosperity, and partnerships. And that frames the SDGs as they are. So, so it's something that we have to take seriously from the global level. And at the global level, there's actually a call by the member states, our leaders, to revitalize a global partnership for sustainable development. And they're going to be working on that as they implement the SDGs. And that calls for multi-stakeholder partnerships at all levels to mobilize resources, transfer knowledge, strengthen capacities, and share experiences. At the UN level, we're working on a strategy that you're all invited to take part on. That will be about helping countries actually implement the SDGs. How do we make this concrete and real? And this is where we're going to come to the national level, because that's where action is going to have to take place. Now, there are different elements that we're going to be focusing on, and partnership is going to be critical to these 3 elements. The first element is mainstreaming. And that would mean landing the SDGs at the national level. That will mean integrating these global goals into national development plans, taking into account national specificities and national priorities. It is acceleration. What we mean by acceleration is that now, from the beginning, we're going to start modeling and analyzing those issues that would be potential bottlenecks in implementation of the SDGs, those issues that prevent progress from happening. And that sort of modeling is, data is critical for it. We need to develop the theoretical models that tells us what will be the impact of the actions that we'll be taking in the 17 areas of the SDGs. We need to have the right data to do it. We need to have high quality data. We also need to have the methodologies to do that. So we'll need the combined expertise that we have here, the knowledge from the research community to develop these development models so that we know that our action is going to have the impact that we see. And then there is the element of policy support, which is what countries will need. They will need the technical assistance, they will need the policy advice, that we have, that many of you have, and we have to come together to provide this. So partnership is going to be essential, sort of a cross-cutting element of this strategy to make this happen, and that's partnership across all communities. The data communities, people that know a lot about data, but also the research communities. There was some question about academics, what they can contribute here. A lot of these development models are developed by academics and think tanks, and it's an area that is ripe for collaboration, and we should leverage that more. Data is also going to be a cross-cutting element of this, because we'll need data. Not only to monitor the SDGs, but also we need data to know that we're taking the right decisions, to inform the decisions that we're taking, and also to hold everybody accountable. Now, accountability is going to be a big area where we have to work together to make sure that all the uncounted are counted. That's one, but also to make sure that us as development community, you can tell us that we're not meeting the commitments, we're not meeting our promises, but that is an engagement that you're going to have to take yourselves as you're contributing to the SDGs, as much as government officials also would have to take those same commitments and be accountable to them. So those are important areas of partnership. So the offer is out there. We're going to be rolling out our strategy that we're calling MAPS at the national level, starting in January 2016, and you'll be invited to work with us at the national level to make this happen. Now, I've got the stop sign, so I'll stop there. Thank you.
My name is Mitch Blazer. I work for a partnership in itself. There's a new partnership between the Millennium Challenge Corporation and PEPFAR. It was announced late last year. We have $21.8 million to spend over 3 years in up to 3 African countries. And we are starting at this point in Tanzania. We have something called Country Data Collaboratives for Local Impact. And I just want to run through that. MCC requires that our work be country-led. So we are very focused on what the people in the country need to have. So it's not us telling people what to do, but it's more listening and taking that on board. Data collaboratives we see as a place where people can come together. And one of the key program areas that we'd like to work on in partnership with a few people here and in alignment with some other partners is a collaborative space where people can come together to work and to learn about data and to see how it can best have impact on the ground. And then local impact is something that we're very keen to work on. And for us, this means getting to the subnational level. So in Tanzania, that's districts and wards. And it's critical, I think, that if we really want to see action on the ground, that it's done not just at the national level, although that's important, but it's done at a subnational level. And so that is someplace we will really focus. So I don't so much have an offer for this group as a request, which is to join us, become a partner, tell us what the best activity is and how we can best achieve local impact. And with other partners here and with all of you, I think we can really make the data revolution something that has impact on the ground. Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so my name is Caitlin Rogers. If I haven't already met you, I work for an organization called the Open Knowledge International. I think I have slides, but oh, there they are. Perfect. So our kind of mission is to put open at the heart of the digital age. So I guess, kind of in a nutshell, we can think about the data revolution and the digital revolution as a way to improve societies. But it's also possible that we could end up with more information empires. So we saw this with radio, we've seen this with press. But what we want to build is digital democracies. And for that, openness is key. So sorry, I'm not that tall. So we see this fight to be like really the soul of the information age, just fight for the soul of the information age. So one of the projects that I work on in collaboration with a number of colleagues at this table is Open Data for Development. So Fernando already talked a lot about this, and I know in a previous session he talked about this Africa Open Data Collaboration Fund that we just launched. So I'm just reiterating that I would really encourage all of you to find partners, apply. The call is now open. You can see the od4d.net. Those are all of the partners, so please join us. We all have been to a lot of conferences, and often you have great ideas, and then we go home and we're busy. Well, this is an opportunity to kind of take those ideas forward immediately. So please, go for drinks tonight with your friends and come up with wonderful ideas and apply. So another project that was launched by Open Knowledge, but now is a community-owned project, is called School of Data. Justin mentioned it a little bit earlier in one of his talks, but School of Data is it's a data literacy network. So a network of data literacy practitioners that are working with civil society and journalists to build their capacity to use data effectively in their work. Over the past 3 years, we have learned an incredible amount of lessons, some from failures, and going forward, we really want to work more long-term with partners. So if you have data literacy needs and you want to build the capacity of your organization or your community, please come and talk to me. There are a number of ways in which we kind of engage in more long-term projects. One of them is the fellowship program, and you might have met some of my colleagues who have been floating around all week, who are our current fellows and past fellows. And another thing, so this is our kind of network. This is our School of Data family, so you can see that they're kind of based everywhere in the world. And another kind of project that we've been doing is embedding fellows into local civil society organizations. So this is a project that we've been doing with Global Witness. It was supposed to be a 6-month project, and we still have not gotten our fellow back 2 years later. I would really like my colleague back at some point. But we help them use data effectively in their work, so that's creating data visualizations and other engagement mechanisms to take the data that they're collecting and to have it reach a mass audience. And so the last thing, so I have a slight conflict of interest here, but I did want to stress for the governments here who are thinking about starting open data initiatives, the organization I work for started a open data platform called CCAN, or a data publishing platform called CCAN. I am not here to sell CCAN to anyone. I am here to encourage you not to build your own platform. So there are people from Socrata, Junar is another platform. They're open source platforms and they're amazing. Please do not reinvent the wheel. And that link there, if you want to write it down, is research that Code for America has done into all the various points, like the pros and cons of the different platforms. So please do your research before building something from scratch, because it will not end well. And the last thing, I forgot about this, is right now we have launched the Global Open Data Index. I would really like to see every African country on the index this year. I think last year we had about 10 to 15. The Global Open Data Index tracks the state of open data around the world. This year we're evaluating 15 data sets. So please contribute, and yeah, looking forward to collaborating with you more.
So, good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
I'm going to ask a question. If everybody had to rate their energy right now between 1 and 5, what would they give it? 2, we got a 6, we got a 5. You were too tired, but somebody else said it was 5 for you. Excellent. So I am both a 1 and a 5. I think it's been a fantastic few days. Thank you so much to the organizers. I have literally, my little name tag is bulging with new contacts of people I said that I would follow up with and who we can work with. I'm also a 1, and I think I'm very much looking forward to a little bit of processing time of all of the new and exciting information that I've been absorbing. So I wanted to make sure that with the 5 or so minutes that I had, I use it more to give you a bit.ly to something that you can take away and maybe follow up with at a later point. So if you look at the top of this slide, it's clearer up here. bit.ly/capslock AODC, the conference ODI, my organization. You can find a link to this slide, and it has all of our things in it. So in that document, you'll see a list of links to some of the different programs that my organization runs that I've had conversations about over the last few days. So the Open Data Institute is a London-based organization with a network of nodes in various countries. And our mission is to unlock the potential of open data around the world. And we have a particular focus on some of the economic and innovation potential of open data. We're a pretty small organization, but we try and leverage the 50 or so people that we have to do quite a lot. We've core funding from the UK government and from various other sources. And so I want to just quickly maybe pull out a few of the different ways that you guys can get in touch with us, so that we can maybe help you out with some stuff. So if you look at the slide, there's a few free online resources that we have developed using a lot of our grant funding, including lots of stories and case studies and guides and various things. But we're also going to have some free online e-learning courses coming up soon. They were funded by the EU, but we've convinced the EU to let us put them out into the open for free. So I think if you click on that link at the moment, you just get a link to an email address, but if you just let us know if you're interested and follow us on Twitter, you'll see those coming out in the next couple of weeks. We run a number of networks that we would love people here to get involved in. That includes a leaders network that we have for heads of open data initiatives in government. We also have applications live at the moment for our startup program. I think you have until about the middle of next week. If you are an open data startup and want to be a part of our community of startups, again, follow that link and you can find out how to do that. And also I mentioned that we have a network of affiliated organizations who are driving open data in their own countries, who can kind of join us as part of a family, and that's called our Node Network. And again, just click on that link and you can find it. But I guess most of the conversations I've been having this week are more about some of our sort of more in-depth support services. So we have training programs that we can deliver either in our offices in London. People can sign up and come to sort of commercially available programs. We do a lot of structured training as well. So we work with the help of a grant from the Open Data for Development Network. We work in a number of countries, including Tanzania, offering training as well as advisory supports, assessment tools, capacity building, strategic advice. What we try and do is to sit down with people and see what you guys need. We try and figure out a way to finance it so that we're able to work with you guys, and then we can put together a bit of a program to help you go through whatever challenges you're facing at the moment. That's specifically ordinarily working in the public sector, so working with governments, but we are increasingly also doing some engagement with private sector companies who want to identify the potential for their business in open data, or to make some more of their data available. And finally, as I said, we are a small team. We realize that in order to scale the open data revolution globally, we need lots more people out there who are delivering a lot of the services that we're developing. So we have a Train the Trainer program. If you sign up to be one of our nodes, I think you can come on that program for free, and you get access to all of our training materials, etc. That's ordinarily for people who are open data experts and want to become trainers. We do that with the University of Southampton. We run it a couple of times a year, and we've just started delivering them regionally, so one in Mexico City and one in Malaysia. So again, pop on that link and let us know if you're interested. Thank you.
To the podium? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Oleg Petrov. I'm with the World Bank Open Data team, representing specifically the Transport ICT Global Practice. here to share with you some of the opportunities we see for partnership in this area of open data with all of you. So I think some of you actually attended my presentation on Thursday, so I don't want to repeat, for those of you who heard it already, but just very briefly, World Bank has been actually involved in supporting open data initiatives in a number of countries. We counted over 30 last count, in addition to opening our own data. So we have been working on our opening our own data for at least 5 years now, but increasingly we engage with our client countries to help you develop your own open data ecosystems. So we do this through in different areas of the open data ecosystem, working with the leadership, capacity building, the policy, institutional setup, helping catalyze applications using open data, on the citizen engagement side, providing financing, and helping with the portals technology infrastructure. So it's a series of number of partnership activities we can offer you on open data. It's open data assessments. I talked a bit more about it on Thursday. It's our flagship product to help initiate the open data activity program in the country, which catalyzes an action plan which a country can use, 3-year action plan of open data initiative. We also help implement this action plan. Sometimes we fund it, sometimes we help catalyze other sources. We support open data ecosystem on the supply side, helping unlock the data, helping develop standards, policies, but also on the demand side. So we have a strong team working on different aspects of the demand side with the media. Craig Hammer, for example, has a media program partnering with Justing and others to help bring the media community and journalists, etc. There is a group working on all kinds of tech camps, hackathons. So we're strong on both supply and demand side, as well as on the policy, legal, licensing issues. And we also do analytical work, and I hope you got your copy of this report, Open Data Sustainable Development. I already mentioned Laura is one of the main officers there, so she has been distributing them for the last couple of days. So if you didn't get a copy, it's in the last table over there. And a lot of our publications are available through our website, opendatatoolkit.worldbank.org. So it's a very rich knowledge base on open data, which has been developed by Team Herzog for the last 2 or 3 years. Team, are you here? So Team can share more about what's available. It's a really great resource. And I just mentioned that the ODRA is a flagship tool which we propose as a platform for collaboration. Covers all the aspects of the ecosystem and provides you with a clear diagnostic of the gaps and the opportunities for open data initiative. So it's something which we hope to collaborate with more countries, which we've done about 25 of those. And analytical work, I mentioned this report, which has been published recently. We've done a number of other reports. There are many groups in the bank which are involved in open data. I cannot speak about all of them due to lack of time, but I mean, there's Open8 partnership. Rob Baker was moderating one of the previous sessions. He leads that. There's a group working on open budget data. Unfortunately, no one is here representing that, but Rob Hunja actually leads that team as part of the governance practice. And Chiara, of course, is our local governance lead. So I just wanted to stop at the slide for a minute or so. Personally, I see the following opportunities as more promising for partnership. So I mentioned the open data readiness assessments. So if your country has not done one, or you're interested in a particular sector assessment or city level, it's an open source tool. You can download it from our website, and you do it on your own or with other partner. We can help you to get it started, identify funding. So if you're interested, collaborate on such assessment, please come to us and we'll initiate it right away. The other tool which we have developed under this toolkit is open data for business assessment, for business engagement. And Laura is, again, one of the authors of that tool. We're finalizing it, so we're using this conference to consult with some of you of how to get it right, this open data for private sector engagement tool, and this will be available soon for anybody to use. We hope to partner with you on bringing private sector on board for this tool. We would like to continue building the Africa Open Data community. So this conference is a great platform, but we hope we will keep working with many of you beyond this, including on next Africa Open Data conference. So if you're interested to catalyze it, whether in your own country or another country, let's talk and see how we can collaborate. Or if you're a champion of open data in your own country and you wanted to build a country community, also let's talk about it. We have developed a special focus on transport data, so if you're interested in that sector, let's talk. Maybe there could be opportunity for doing an assessment, some quick wins. And we just discussed with some partners here that there's a need for doing data revolution roadmaps. Sounds very exciting and similar to the Open Data Action Plan, so we hope to engage in those roadmaps as well. So please talk to us if you're interested. And last but not least, we are initiating a new program of Smart Nation Assessments, which will be very much focusing on data-driven innovation, open data. So it's a broader concept than just open data. So if you're interested to look, broader beyond open data at a Smart Nation, Smart City concept, and we can also collaborate in that. Thank you very much. I just wanted to mention that we are a large team. Robert Hunja is one of our more senior leaders in our community. Chiara is a more senior colleague here in Tanzania. Amparo leads the Open Data Working Group in Washington. So, Edward. Edward is right there. He's leading the Open Data project here in Tanzania. And many others, Verena and Rob already mentioned that we are happy to continue this collaboration beyond this. Just hope you met many of them here. Some of them are not, but will be very much available for further contact. Thank you very much.
So I want very much to appreciate my colleagues for being very specific and also keeping to time. I acknowledge that we have thrown at you a lot of information. I think the single takeaway is that there's immense amounts of resources available to all those of you who are working on open data initiatives in your countries that you can call upon. Obviously, when people talk resources, sometimes they only think about money. And money is important and probably very important. But what is even more important is what you've heard this afternoon about knowledge, collaboration, and partnership. And what I'd like to do is, unless there's a burning question, one burning question we can take is to close this panel so that we can proceed towards ending the conference. Is that okay? Yeah. So thank you.